Hey everyone, back again at KubeCon, and I am here for an interview with Ria Bhatia, and she is a senior product manager at Niantic. Hi, Ria.
Hi.
Tell us about Niantic, and then I'd like to ask you a few questions about the new architecture that you're building. You're known for your Pokemon Go development, which used augmented reality really to create a game that was really super popular. But I'm curious if you could tell us more about what the company does, and then we could go into some of what you're working on.
Yeah. So Niantic's mission is to inspire people to go outside and explore the world together. The way we do that, we have a couple different ways. The first way is we actually publish games. So we're a game publisher. The other way is we actually create internal games within our company. And the third way is we're reaching external developers through our Niantic Lightship platform, where we're going to release some core services like augmented reality features, AR services, and also geolocation services to the world, so they can build applications on top of us. So that's kind of a really brief overview of Niantic today.
Sure.
I can go into those architecture questions.
I would love to.
Okay. So yeah, I think Niantic's actually one of the oldest users of Kubernetes.
Right.
I think we've been using Kubernetes since the beginning. We've been running it in production for about 5 to 6 years now. So when we released Pokemon Go, everything was on Kubernetes. We had to scale up really fast because we got an unexpected amount of player usage. And yeah, I think it was a really crazy time. Now that we're looking towards the future, we want to start really thinking about our developer experience, because we want to make it easier for games to get published with us. And we want to make it easier for developers to create applications with us. So that means we have to start thinking about the developer journey from day one. So we're thinking about things like a developer environment. Like, can we create a microservice for that? Can we actually split away game servers and create a service for game servers? And what does our developer experience look like? So that's what we're doing, so we can push more games through our pipeline at the moment.
So tell me about kind of the size of your Kubernetes infrastructure. How many clusters do you run? Maybe you could tell us a little bit about, the staffing requirements. How many have you started to find new ways to make it more efficient, and how you support users who are building out the platform?
Yeah. So today, we're basically isolated per game. So every single game runs on their own cluster. And I think we're going to keep that sense of isolation. The infrastructure underneath, because we didn't have standard Terraform modules, we didn't have standard scripts for deploying infrastructure, all of our games infrastructure look slightly different, which is hard because that means when we have an SRE team that's spanning all of our games, it's really difficult for them to span one game and then go to another and understand what's going on, because everything is slightly different.
Okay.
So that's one of the things we're trying to change. We're trying to create common Terraform modules to deploy our game servers. And then once we do that, we're going to think of more automation. Today, we're since we're a stateful, we're a game service, so that I think that makes sense. We have to figure out how to auto scale. And today it's a super manual process. We also spend a lot of money scaling before events. And I think that's the next adventure we're going to be embarking on. Can we start to standardize our infrastructure? And can we start to add some more automation so we can build out teams that focus on improving their workflow rather than doing manual tasks every day?
So the data persistence issue must be one that you have to look at.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of talk about CSI, so you can interface with, your storage environments. But as I understand, a lot of developers just want to, they don't really care about that underneath. They're more interested in, in the persistence. How do you manage your own persistence inside your environments?
Yeah, I can't exactly talk about that because that's kind of our secret sauce underneath in our game server, and we're not privy to talk about our architecture that deeply yet. But I think there is a path in the future where we would be possibly even open sourcing our game server. And I'm starting to work towards that future and build open source policy within Niantic so we can start talking about this stuff.
I was thinking about some of the questions and that we have, and I'm curious about this new platform that you're developing. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah. So it's Niantic Lightship. We're actually launching on November 8th. And there'll be a live streamed event from 10 a.m. to 11:45 a.m. So if you want to learn more, definitely join that live stream. But we're releasing a couple of services, and I'm actually the PM for one of them, which is multiplayer AR. So multiple people can get into a shared AR session and see the same content. That's one of the features we offer, and we're also offering contextual awareness and some other AR related features. In the future, we're going to be releasing geolocation services through our platform, and give you the ability to anchor content to actual locations, which I'm really excited about. So we have a lot more coming and a lot of more exciting things coming for the future. Yeah,
So
that's our platform.
you use open source. Do you offer are you going to be offering your architecture to people who want to use it for building out their own metaverse
So
platforms?
not yet. Like, people won't be able to build a Pigo style app with the game board right now. Right now, we're just going to offer core services because we want to enable people to think of new things. We want to enable people to be really creative. And so right now, our customers aren't asking for that, and we're pretty customer focused. So we're going to wait until we have a really great use case.
So how, so when you're building out your metaverse and building out your environment, it's built on Kubernetes. What are some of the services that you're also using in addition to the Kubernetes on?
Yeah, we're using Kubernetes literally under everything. So our social services, our data services, our AR multiplayer services, everything starts with Kubernetes. Past that, of course, we're using Grafana and Prometheus, and we're also using Envoy. So,
Okay.
yeah.
For the service mesh capability?
Yeah.
Do you use any service mesh outside of Envoy?
We have just started to use actually Private Service Connect from Google, but we're looking into what kinds of functionality we'll need past just connecting services to game servers. So we're still working on that plan. But I think, we're not actively implementing at the moment. Some other things we're looking at is centralized monitoring and logging. We don't have all of Niantic, and so we need to start to centralize all of those KPIs basically and metrics.
So just going back to what you were saying a little bit about use a service mesh from Google. Are you starting to look at it?
We're using Private Service Connect, which from what I'm aware, it's an L7 -L4. It gives us the ability to connect services to our games, and that's basically what we need right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You don't need, would something like Istio just be too much?
Yeah. At the moment, I think all of that functionality, like, we need to have the people in place to be able to support it, and we need to have the right use cases in place, and our customers asking for that. But at the moment, like, we need centralized monitoring and logging, and I think that's kind of our biggest thing.
What do you do now if you're not you don't have centralized monitoring and logging?
Right now, I mean, we have every game environment, and we can pull up Grafana dashboards for every single environment. Okay. Yeah, and we have one team that looks after everything.
But a better approach would be to what?
To start to send. So I want to see basically how our one service is doing across every single game. Like, I want to have I'm a product manager, right? So I want to understand the health of a service and the health of that endpoint and the health of if that game is able to request something, they're getting those requests back.
Otherwise, you're looking at each one individually.
Yeah. And I think, like, there's just a lot of work to be done to crafting the right KPIs, to crafting the right SLOs and SLAs. We're internally supporting our customers, but I think we can start to really act like a service company internally to Niantic. I come from actually Microsoft Azure, so I'm pretty familiar with how to create new services and how to bolster those up. And I'm trying to position Niantic in that way, especially since we're starting to release our services through Lightship. So what does an SLA look like? What do SLOs look like? How do we protect from bad actor usage and potential DDoS and things like that?
So I kind of equate you to like building out another web in many ways. It's not the web, but it's like something else that's built on the internet. And, and like the services you're offering are for game developers and who are building out these augmented reality applications. It could be anyone who's building an application now, correct?
Yeah.
So anybody. Are you looking for people to build on your platform overall? Is that the idea?
Yeah. Anyone that has a cool idea for AR or geolocation, or anyone that has a cool concept, we are looking to work with them. And we're looking like really actively to work with awesome studios. So yeah, we think this platform is going to be our way into the future. We think everyone that's going to be creating AR apps for the future for AR headsets will be using some of our core services with a mix of other components.
And so AR, for the uninitiated, really is the augmented reality. And so it's not the full-on virtual reality, but it's using any device that can almost be able to, it has the capability to show you something that's viewed through the AR platform. So the AR platform would be accessed by the end user through their phone if they had an app, for instance.
Yeah. Today we're using what consumers have today, which is mobile devices. I think we hope that there's going to be a future where we have awesome headsets, but we need the consumers to want to buy those headsets, and we need to have awesome apps on those headsets that consumers want to buy. And I think we're all kind of building up to that reality.
So you really must have your own DevOps environments then for all your own builds and such, don't you? Yeah. And so so in that respect, then, for your own infrastructure, what are the changes you're looking to make? What are some of the updates you're looking to make? What's next for you, and how you can build out that metaverse developer world so people can build applications and offer more services? I don't know if there's an equation, if you equate it to microservices, but there must be some.
Yeah. What's next for us is really focusing on the developer experience, making their day one story really easy. We want to make sure that if you land in Niantic's platform on day one, you're able to prototype on your concept. Today, that's not particularly true. Our tech's really great, but it's also really complicated.
Right.
We built a really hard tech stack. We actually split a lot of our components from Pokemon Go and created a platform out of it, which is awesome because we love those core components, but we didn't think about the usability or the reliability or the DevX around all of those. So that's what's next for Niantic. We're building out our core platform teams. We're building out our SRE teams, our server engineering teams across our entire company. We have ML engineering positions open. So if you want to be hired, please reach out to us. We're hiring a lot. But yeah, we're really bolstering up our core platform so we can support all of these new services and social services and AR services for the future, and our future developers.
So just a peek inside the stack a little bit. Why are you hiring ML engineering developers?
So we have so Niantic has a lot of different pillars. We have our AR platform, we have core platform, we have a whole data platform, and we also have gaming. So the reason why I'm saying ML engineers, we really care about data privacy. So everything we do stays within Niantic, and all analysis we do stays within Niantic. We have an entire pipeline built internally because we really care about data privacy. And so with ML, we're thinking about how can we start to personalize some of our applications for the user, but we want to make sure the user can opt in, and we don't want to be creepy. So I'm really excited to grow out that team. Actually, one of our PMs was here at KubeCon.
So why does machine learning relate to that?
Why is machine learning? I don't think I'm probably the best person to answer that, but
I just am curious about that space right now. In any case, thank you very much for joining us, Ria. I enjoyed learning a little bit about Niantic. So thanks for your time.
Yeah.